What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Farah. This episode is brought to you by Migliore Luxury Car Care Products. Migliore is known for making the best of the best when it comes to car care. I have to cop to a little whoopsie. When you work with brands, you see their products, and sometimes, you work with them digitally, but I mispronounced their name last week. I forgot the E at the end. I didn't pronounce it the long way. It's Migliore, which, considering Connecticut, I should have gone a little more Italian on it. I'm from that area, so I know. Their products are made in Connecticut, my home state, as a matter of fact. Migliore's Strata coating is a ceramic coating treatment you can easily apply yourself. It adds a ton of gloss, it lasts over a year, and it keeps your car looking great for longer in between washes. It's extremely hydrophobic, meaning water just sheets right off it. It makes maintenance so much easier. Just a quick hose and you're good to go, especially like in California, where it's not like dirt so much, but it's just that dust, and your car looks clean until you get really close. You just give it a once over, and then you go for a quick drive, boom, done. Strata Coating has over 100 positive reviews on Amazon. Check them out. And spring, it's right around the corner. We're all driving our sports cars. It's basically summer again here in California, so I'm taking every car out. Use code TST at checkout at migliorewax.com. That's MIGLIORE wax.com. migliorewax.com for 10% off their ceramic coating products. And speaking of spring cleaning, you might want to spring clean yourself, not just your car, because the Brio Beardscape, it's in the house. It's for scaping. And if you add scaping to anything, you know what's happening, right? Okay. Everyone's got a buzzer. All men have a buzzer. Some people have really nice buzzers. Most people go through life with a crappy buzzer that they bought at a crappy drugstore, because that's just how we think. We think okay is good enough. But guys, there's the grass is greener, but there's no fence. You can get there. The Brio Beardscape, this is a money buzzer. I've been using it for like a year, and I'm a buzzer snob, actually. And I'll admit, I have like a super professional quality buzzer that I pull out when I'm like at home, like probably 3 or 4 times a year, because it's like a machine. You have to like use it like an old car. But the Beardscape I use pretty much the entire rest of the time, especially when I'm on the road. This thing is light. It holds a charge for a really long time. The blades stay really sharp because it's got a ceramic blade. At first it like kind of looks like plastic, but it's actually a ceramic blade, and it stays sharp. You don't have to oil it as much as you do the metal blades. Doesn't corrode, and it's powerful. It's got some horsepower on it, which is really nice. So go to Brio for Life. That's BRIO, the number 4life.com. Use code SMOKING, SMOKING, and I have the best price for you guys. I really like this thing. I'm not pooping you. I use it literally every week. I used it yesterday. It's rad. It's about to need its first recharge, but we're on like 14 or 15 months at this point. So I think that's pretty good. Brio4life.com. Use code SMOKING at checkout. Best price for you, my friends. Best price. All right, on this episode, in from the beautiful state of Utah, our boys Paul and Todd from Everyday Driver, regulars. I'm so proud of these guys. They are the hardest workers. They are the nicest people. They keep going. I now see them on Amazon Prime streaming platform, which is really nice. Their content keeps getting suggested to me. I guess we have similar tastes. That's why they keep coming back to this podcast. I love their perspectives, and they're just they're OG YouTubers like us, and they're constantly requested from you fans. So here they are, Paul and Todd of Everyday Driver on the Smoking Tire Podcast. Willkommen. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day for the next 2 hours, and then it's going to turn into a complete shit show.
Yes.
Welcome to the rain in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Paul and Todd of Everyday Driver.
Hey, man.
Or Todd and Paul of Everyday Driver.
Either way.
I don't know why is it always alphabetical, but it's always Paul and Todd instead of Todd and Paul.
It doesn't matter. You can do it either way.
Flip that shit back up. What's happening?
Hey, we're glad to be here, man. We've been working on this for a bit.
Baker's dozen years on the air almost. It's a dozen years now. It's not a Baker's yet. We're getting
crazy.
Yeah, right?
Crazy.
OG.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We've been on with you for a while.
Talking about
first ever video.
07 was the, I think it was my old 300ZX posted in 07.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how long ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, frightening.
Crazy. I mean, we were just testing things out, trying things out, and here it's grown to this thing, which is pretty cool.
Is it watchable? When was the last time you went back and watched that one?
It's not good. It's not good. Let's be honest. There's a lot to do. Yeah.
We raced moving vans. We had this idea.
I remember that one. I remember the racing movie van. That's not that bad. That's not that bad.
That was still to be found on the internet somewhere.
That's not that cringy.
That one's okay.
It's not that bad.
But by that point, we were refining what we were doing.
No, it's really not. That at least there was a semblance of here's a hypothesis. Yeah. Let's test it.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
Should we not?
Dude, so I went back. Do you guys know Rick Radcliffe?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the guy. I don't know his exact job at Norco High School. It might be assistant principal or it's something higher ups now.
Yeah.
But I spoke at his school's career day.
Did you really? Okay. Yeah. Love it.
Apparently I did well. I don't know.
Yeah. Where'd you go with the major thing?
I didn't bomb.
Okay, here's your career path. Talk to your career counselor about this.
Yeah, no. My thesis was that that when I was in school, they didn't do a very good job of teaching you that there were careers to be had in the arts.
Okay, sure.
True.
Sure.
They didn't tell you that if you like doing arts and crafts, like actual arts and crafts, you can come to Los Angeles and you can be a set designer or a movie prop person or whatever.
True.
Like I know people who work in some weird ass jobs that have nothing to do with how well you did in physics or whatever.
Totally.
So I was there as a sideshow to be here's another weird thing that you probably never thought you could do for a living.
That's cool.
Actually make money doing this. Yeah.
So I played some of my very, very first videos, which is where we're getting back.
I love it.
So my first videos are so old.
Okay.
First off, they're in 480p.
Okay.
And they're so old that they use contemporary pop music. And they're so old that they're still there.
Yeah.
They're still on YouTube with Stone Temple Pilots as a soundtrack because they're pre-DCMA.
Yes.
So they're grandfathered in. So I'm playing there's Cold War kids and Stone Temple Pilots.
We have
you can get away with it.
Yeah.
We have an early
Dave
video.
Matthews Band.
No way.
We have an early video with I think a Daft Punk track on it for the same reason.
Nobody's gone. Sorry, excuse me.
No, it's pre-DCMA. It's grandfathered. If you were in before, it's there forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the res is so small that even Tim, pull up the Everyday Driver website that's just up right now. That YouTube window, the normal YouTube window you're thinking of, even if you were to play my video in the window like that, the res is so bad it immediately only shows the video in a quarter of the window, in the lower.
Yeah.
It'd be an advertising thumbnail. It'd be that equivalent. Yeah.
Totally.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Were you pushed to photography? Were you pushed that way earlier in your career by any career counselor whatsoever?
No, no.
Because photography was a thing.
My passion for photography is much more sad. I got into there's two hobbies I have: photography and cooking.
Okay.
And I got into cooking because it meant I didn't have to do the dishes. And I got into photography because it meant I didn't have to be in pictures. I really didn't.
I see.
I had a lot of self-esteem issues, and I really did not like being in pictures. And if you're the photographer, then you don't have to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the camera.
I mean, it's very sad to say. It's a real downer to talk about that now. But
it's interesting to
that's how I got
though.
there.
But I never had any classmates that were pushed that direction. I never knew friends that, what my career counselor suggested is photography. Nobody ever talked about that.
There's no money in it if you weren't one of 6 people.
Well, a few nature photographers that made a lot of money, but they sit in the outdoors in the cold and the freezing and they get the shot. And then
you hear the story about them being out there for 48 hours.
There's weddings and bar mitzvahs, and there's studio folks, and there's fashion folks, and not a lot else. And especially for me at the time, digital just destroyed. I mean, we were talking about this recently with Jeff Zwart. I was talking with this a couple weeks ago about what happened to that industry when digital came out, because the whole industry took a complete dump. All of a sudden with digital, it was wait. You don't need to know how to color balance. You don't need to know how to post process. You don't need to blah blah blah. All these things, so
Yeah, I mean, hey, you get a free printer with your laptop purchase. You must be a graphic designer.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I got a free printer.
Digital camera plus Craigslist was like the game over to photographers for like the end of the mid 2000s until like very recently.
I love that digital cameras were designed around the 3.5-inch floppy drive. I remember these cameras. They were designed around the form factor of this old media.
Yeah. Okay. Like a digital camera that had a 3.5.
You remember those?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So.
Yikes.
And then it became the save icon, and here we are.
Right. And now your children are like, what does this picture even mean?
That just means save. Yeah. It was never a thing. It just means save.
Yeah. Do your kids even know like what like the handset icon is for the phone?
You say that. I was talking to Paul about this last night. My son is 9.
Yeah.
Okay. And he is great on FaceTime.
Right.
He's fantastic with AirPods.
Yeah.
But he's 9, so he's old enough to understand a phone. Does not understand how to pick up a phone and put it to his face properly.
Oh, so he'll only talk to you with the phone held out in front of him like a FaceTime.
Yes, he understands how to do speakerphone.
Will he have a non-FaceTime, just audio only call?
That's what I'm saying. If he does, he either wants to have it like a speaker, or we were talking to my grandfather. Okay, you're going to put the phone to your face. The man doesn't understand FaceTime, and you're going to have to yell at him. Okay, so there's no speakerphone. All right, and I had to literally hold the phone to my son's face because we were talking about the fact that the handset makes sense. The design of it, you know how to hold it.
Right.
He doesn't understand.
It is self-evident as opposed to the bar of soap.
You don't need to hold it to your face and figure out which end is up. He can't do that because why would he?
I mean,
why would he know
handsets
that?
from the 50s were designed and told you, the form factor told you what to do with it. Many things do, but this has no form. What do I do with this? I'm looking at it. I could hold it any which way.
Bizarre.
It does not tell you this is a phone.
And of course, I'm sitting there just boggled because I'm just thinking, how do you not know how to hold a phone? And they're like,
he can probably rearrange
the
icons on your iPad screen in like 2 seconds.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And like do all this other
He has no
shit.
technological problems.
Yeah.
It's just,
he could build a massive world in Minecraft.
Yes, exactly. But why would he understand how to hold a phone? Why would we do that? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I have these generational observations and with people like a lot, and it's I don't know.
I've asked my niece and nephew, if somebody pulls up next to you and does the window roll down motion, what does that mean?
Oh, the roll,
And they knew. They're 17 and 19, and they knew. And I would also pose the question, if you wanted to, have somebody roll your window down, what do? Do you hold the window button to put the window?
Oh, they do that?
You do this.
Everybody does
Everybody
that.
knows that. But what car has a window crank anymore?
Yeah.
1987 Lamborghini Countach, my friend.
Well, yes. I like how you brought it all.
But modern,
but the point you're making, though, is this is still like the save icon. This is still, kids understand this is what this means, but they've never actually interacted with the item.
They don't look into the context of it so much.
Anyway.
So does that mean all kids need to be, have Lamborghini rides? So
they need typewriters and fucking rotary phones and Countaches, and we're golden, dude. Floppy drives.
There we go.
Perfect.
Maybe a reel-to-reel of some kind.
Just for something to cut and work on.
Yeah. So, what's going on, boys? Welcome. How are you doing?
Kinds of stuff. Doing good. We are ramping up for actually season 5. Todd's just finishing delivering.
We're really in
4.
seasons now because we're Motor Trend Television Network, right? Or MTN, MTTN,
Yeah. Here's
Motor
the
Trend.
grand. Here's the grand confusion because Motor Trend has taken over Velocity. Okay, and so everybody thinks of Motor Trend as the app, as the on-demand, but we're independent producers on Motor Trend, so we're on the cable channel only and not on the app.
They don't throw you a bone on the app?
It's a whole other thing.
That'd be nice.
So we own all the rights, so it winds up on Amazon Prime after, which we're very excited about. People watch Amazon Prime, which is very cool.
Secondary.
Yes, for sure. But people are like, well, I can't find you on the app. No, you can't, because it doesn't matter. So we're on early Saturday morning, so we're finishing, actually we've got season 4 running through the end of March. Season 5 we're about to start shooting because that'll be third quarter, starting in July.
Cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
it's
starting to set up some shoots and investigate cars, and there's all kinds
investigate,
all kinds of cool stuff coming.
See what cars we can get on the books.
Yeah. What's been good recently? Anything fun?
We actually have it's actually not for TV, but we have it while we're here. We have that Corolla that's trying to be a hot hatch.
Oh,
the crazy blue one.
Everyone keep asking about this fucking Corolla.
That's why we're driving it, because everyone's asking about it.
Why? It's a stick. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right.
Holy shit, it's a stick.
Wow, we made a 6-speed. Look at us. It has rev match. It's really cool.
We've crossed the line from stick just meeting entry-level car to now it's got a manual that must mean it has sporting intentions.
Yeah.
It's an enthusiast car. It does, and it's nearly...
Is it almost fun?
Our discussion is it's almost a hot hatch. It's close.
Well, wait, have you driven an XRS?
No,
because this is the problem.
I mean, that's what people are wanting it to be.
Yeah, because the XRS is a car that nobody talks about, but that is actually fun.
Yeah,
XRS is crazy, like really fun.
Agreed. We've not driven that, but people are wanting the XRS goodness out of this car.
400 RPM and a 6-speed and a limited slip diff. It rules.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
But it's not.
I made a man have an orgasm in one.
Wow.
I'm not sure I want to hear that story.
Exactly. I don't think I want to hear that story.
This was one of those like the guy who brought it to me. He was like, it was one of those like cuckold situations.
Got it.
Where he really wanted me to like. It was as if he was watching me fuck his wife and really enjoying it, but I was driving his car.
Okay.
And he was really, really about it. It was fucking
and there's video.
How long did this last?
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. It's one of the most bizarre videos I've ever shot.
That's gonna get views
so
extra all of a sudden. Yeah.
It got a lot of views. It was really
revisit it now. Yeah,
most of them were him rewatching.
Frightening.
They weren't other people watching. It was him going back and rewatching that video.
Wow.
Oh, dude. But yeah, so anyway, is it hot hatchy or is it?
It's almost. It's like
hatchy.
75% hot hatch.
What's missing?
Power, suspension.
So the things that make a hatch hot.
The things.
So what you're saying is it's just a hatch.
The really good braking.
If they did the thing that everybody else did, which is the actual drive modes, and they had a drive mode that was actually sportier, then it would get there. But it's just not quite.
None modes.
It's just this is the way it's set up. The gear stick is enormous. It's like it's a truck gear shift, which is really surprising to me. And the catch point is almost completely at the top of the pedal. And the car's got no miles on it. So you've got this long travel and nothing. Oh, wait, there it is.
Yeah.
So these kind of little refining things, it would already be there, you know? And it's fun to throw it on a back road, but it's just not quite where it should be.
It's fun-ish.
Like, it needs a little fine tuning.
Yeah.
It's not quite fully fun, but it wants to be fun, and you can see fun. There's fun over there.
You're
fun
in the
to be
vicinity of fun.
We'd like to be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, it's not quite the little puppy dog humping your leg yet. It's funnish. It's almost there. It's enthusiastic.
It's an interesting metaphor, Paul.
We're getting there.
You really, I really would like to feel that in real life.
No.
If you want to put
No.
Yeah, all right. I feel you. I'm not sold on it yet. Oh, wait. Someone get me a turbo. Quick.
No, I agree. No,
Larry Chen turned one into like a rally car with a crane arm on the roof of it. This seemed kind of fun.
Really
I mean,
cool.
they've been drift cars. They've been
dollar cars rule. You see the drift car on Bring a Trailer?
Yeah.
40. I think it was 46 grand it went for.
No. Bring a Trailer's become madness. Honestly,
46 grand though for a Papadakis drift car.
Fair.
That's a real build.
Yeah,
it's a real build.
Papadakis is no joke. That's a race team.
But when things like the 8 Mile GNX goes for 200 grand and the Super goes for 100 or whatever.
So what should it go? What should it go for? An 8 Mile GNX.
It shouldn't go for 200 grand.
50.
Somebody's going to buy it. It's not ever going to be driven ever.
So. Who gives a shit? Remove it from the marketplace. Who cares?
All right, fair. Okay, there's a fair point. Somebody just spent their money and took it out of equation. All right, I'll take that point.
You're never going to see that car again.
You're right, absolutely.
No one's spending 200 grand on GNX to flip it.
Yeah, you're right. Even though that Supra
or drive it.
Flipped. Yeah,
the Supra. That's a bullshit thing. You mean the red one?
Yeah.
The one that the guy paid whatever he paid for it. What did they pay for? What did he pay for it?
121, something like that.
And then he put it in a showroom at his dealership for 500.
Yeah.
That was just to get people like us talking about his dealership.
Fair point.
And we did for a half a second.
If you walked in there and said, "I'll give you 150 for it," he'd sell it to you right there.
Probably. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that you would, because why?
Why would you do that? Yes, exactly.
I'll tell you what, though. The rest of us, being A, the media, and B, the people, we can win. We just don't buy it from that guy.
Oh, I agree. Yes.
All you have to do is not give him.
Just stop. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did we show him?
If he didn't, by spending 120 grand, he didn't make the market 120 grand.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely
Someone's got to buy it from him to make the market 120 grand.
You're right.
He might have just way the fuck overpaid.
Probably. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Same with the Buick, same with a bunch of others.
My Fox body was a charity auction, and so it went for a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that's what the market is.
Well,
if the dude who bought it from me turns around and sells it for that number at retail, then okay. But
that was a special situation for sure.
Charity. Charity is like a...
Charity's a whole different thing. Especially if the auctions make them...
You shook it out, right? And all that.
That's how it's viewed, because you'll see the latest Supra. The first Supra off the line was $2 million.
Yeah.
They're never going to be that.
Some guy wants a deduction You get a deduction
Yes.
and the toy.
Yes.
I need a place to hide
Absolutely,
money.
yeah.
That's a big deduction.
Totally.
Not that I didn't take a deduction for my fucking little donation. I did.
Of course you did.
100% I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you?
Well,
You're
that's the
entitled.
category it's in. So everybody ignores
entitled,
that.
man.
Exactly.
Yeah, $2 million for a Supra. I'll pass.
I think so.
How about that fucking $20 million Bugatti thing they just fucking dropped today?
It's one of one.
Yeah, can you just Tim? It's called Bugatti the Black Car.
You think they studied what Ferrari did with the LaFerrari? Like, I think they're onto something. We
What do
should
you
just
mean?
name it the Black Car.
Oh yeah, no, I just
the Ferrari.
I think the black car signifies that they're only building one because it's the.
Yeah.
But I ain't impressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it gets us talking. It's back to that thing we're talking about. It's just this is going to be somebody's going to buy it. Nobody will ever see it again. These will be the only
It's a
photos
design
ever.
exercise. We're trying stuff. We're trying stuff for future design language. That's what they're trying on this car. They made one.
You bring it up.
We're good.
This is as if every automaker took the crazy concepts they're going to have, and those concepts actually ran, and they sold each one of those.
Yes.
It's that
absolutely.
Kind of thing.
Imagine car
press,
companies fully fleshing out the concept so it's fully great. Everything is production ready.
These are the cars that in 50 years you will see them at auctions like we see, Coach built whatever's today.
Yeah.
But they're going to be $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's going to be $1 billion.
Think so?
Yes.
$1 billion?
I think it will be $1 billion. The first car to hit $1 billion.
It's going to take a while.
50 years. 50 years.
Yeah, 40 or 50 years,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with 50.
$1 billion. Well, we might still be here.
$1 billion
maybe.
car.
Maybe. I remember that car way back.
I bet you we see a $100 million car in the next 2 to 3 years.
You're probably right. We're close enough already.
It'll be a GTO, but
of course it will be. Absolutely, yeah. That one that sold, what was that one? 48 million that sold?
48 with
the
the buyer's premium.
was auctioned.
Yeah.
There's another.
That was
McNeil bought one for 75.
Yeah, we saw it driving around.
Private sale.
The silver one driving around.
Silver one. It does look
and
good.
Gooding
in
had
silver.
GTO parking right out front, and he took it seriously. He parked, and everybody went.
How many spots were there?
2.
Were they both occupied or just
No,
one?
just one.
GTO
it was David
parking.
and his silver GTO parked at Gooding because GTO
funny.
parking in it. I know it was tongue in cheek, and he pulled up. He did.
I mean, look, if at first you can't succeed by a race team.
By a race team at a race track, and then the problem solved.
If at second you can't succeed, by a track. If at third you can't succeed, by the entire fucking series.
Exactly.
If at fourth you can't succeed, buy a silver GTO and call the game.
And park it wherever you like.
He also
Park it in your special GTO parking space.
He made laser line floor mats for GTOs. There's a market of 36 cars.
Of course he did.
You can buy Weathertech floor mats for your GTO.
I'm going to give them...
He makes them.
Tim, can you go to weathertech.com and find me a set of Ferrari GTO
laser measured
floor mats?
You can get them.
And
I will
would you
fucking give a set away.
He announced this on his Instagram.
And would you want them in would you want a rubber floor mat in your GTO? That's my next question.
Here's what I want to I want someone to have like a terrible Yaris, like a really fucked Yaris, and then I'll supply them with a set of GTO floor mats for their Yaris.
Hey, they kind of fit. What you need to do is trim the corner so they fit. Haven't you just described all Yaris?
They do make nice mats though.
No, they're great. No,
they do.
We live in Utah,
great.
land of salt and snow, and so we love having them for sure.
Yeah, they're absolutely great. But if you're driving your GTO in the land of salt and snow, good news, everyone.
Well, did you see that Concours, the St. Moritz? It was called like the Ice. They did a Concours in St. Moritz, which is like so luxurious just to even say it.
It is, yes.
And it was on a frozen lake, and so they drove all the cars out, and it was called like the Ice.
Oh my gosh!
And they also had like a horse racing track was like next to the lake, and it had snow all covering it.
Sure.
And they were kind of like. It was a light amount of hooning, but there was some like hooning of the cars.
Light hooning, yeah.
It's like old European hooning, not like
Sure.
It wasn't like fucking Scotto and a bunch of flat bills out there.
Fair. Yeah.
Funny.
Like Ken Block with a grill in.
Yeah, exactly. Not that level. Yeah.
Got it.
No, do they exist, Tim? No, maybe not.
I'm not finding them.
You need the special code. You have to supply your VIN number, and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
takes you
I think that's
to the Easter egg.
If you called them, they'll give you the back
of the WeatherTech
the
site.
dark Weathertech.
You need the
That's what
Ferrari
that is.
concierge to buy them.
Probably, yeah.
They have that. If you buy a Ferrari, you get the Ferrari concierge.
Of course they do. Yeah.
Yeah. My boy hooked it up. My boy has the same name as his dad. And his dad has a couple of Ferraris, and that's my friend's the junior.
Okay.
So he calls up and
sure, and says this is who I am.
Yes, and so Hamilton tickets, no problem. Reservations in
gosh.
Nobu, it's
Pick
real.
the restaurant. I was going to say.
Fantastic.
Pick the restaurant.
Very nice.
That's hysterical.
They hook it up.
It's like the Tesla Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have you guys been driving besides little Corollas?
Let's see. We just
the film. We drove all the generations of the Corvette for our latest film, and that came out in December. So we had a premiere in Park City.
13 cars. All the.
I think you were here just before that, weren't you? Here in the fall.
We were here just before because we were driving the ZR1 press car, and we just couldn't make the situation work to get on the podcast. Then we were here. That was the 13th car in the film. So that was the only press car.
That new ZR1.
It's madness. It's madness. Yeah.
They're not really selling a lot of them, are they?
No.
I think everybody's waiting.
I know.
People are waiting.
But it might be a good buy and hold. Could be,
Possibly,
maybe.
yeah.
I maintain that if you get that car, they're not a hold car. Drive that thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not saying don't drive it.
The Bugatti is a hold.
Leave it in the $20 million
The ZR1
Bugatti?
is not a hold.
But it was interesting to drive. I mean, the oldest car we had was a 54.
You couldn't get in the 53? 54 is a Gen 1 though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It is, right? Okay.
I mean,
it's still
what number was it?
I don't know, but it was when they first stopped making them in only white with red interior. So that was the 53s, and then in 54, this is a blue one with a tan interior. It was actually gorgeous, and inexplicably had lived in Ogden, Utah, which is just north of Salt Lake. We're based in Park City. Its entire life. It was bought there, and it's been there its entire life. Besides the fact that it has probably the world's worst seating position. It also had no seatbelts. Driving a car in the modern time with no seatbelts.
The steering wheel actually acted like a roller coaster bar, right? Where
pretty much.
Pressed your thighs down into the seat.
Very true. It's insane.
Yeah.
It had that awful 2-speed gearbox.
Yes, that is a perfect description of that gearbox. It is awful. It is terrible.
It has one.
Automatic.
It has two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful. So, but that was fascinating to start there and go through all of them. 13 cars over its 110 minutes.
I've been in one of those first gen ones. It's like you can't believe they were like, you stopped here. This you decided this was what done was.
Yes, agreed.
What is wrong with you guys?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes,
crazy, right?
Yeah, we
defined the era.
Yeah, we ended up with 3 cars in the Gen 1, and we did multiple cars a lot of the generations. But we did 3 over the first gen, and then we kept going from there. So it was really fun.
What was your favorite?
Ooh,
Forget that. What was the worst?
The worst, of course, was the Malaise era, the C3s. They weren't
like
great.
the late. What years did you cover for that?
Well, we had an
70s?
81
Those
actually.
Are shit.
Yeah, we had an 81. It was not good news.
Actually,
yeah.
the owner whose car we borrowed keeps his tires in a garage, and they happen to be 20 years old. And he told us this after we drove the car. And by the way, I keep those tires. And he drag races the car.
I'm sorry. Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean by like they're not on the car? Keeps them somewhere else, other than the car?
Yeah, when it's in winter storage, he keeps them, the car in a garage, and he pulls them off, I guess, and he just stacks them up, and they just sit there. And then he puts them on the car, and he takes the car out, and we drive around on 20-year-old tires.
But of all the cars, for any of the owners to say, I take this drag racing, it was the automatic 81.
He says,
what on earth?
I don't win a lot.
Yeah. I don't win ever.
But he's out there drag racing.
If he's bracket racing, you could win. If it runs the same,
if
it runs the same 18.5 every time,
if it's completely reliable, he might take the field.
There's that guy who was super well known for going around, flying around to drag strips and bracket racing like rented Tauruses, because he knew he would just rent a Taurus and then show up. He knew it would run the same shit every time. He'd win a lot of money.
So that was definitely the low point. I mean, it's kind of the obvious low point, but definitely the low point. I struggled with the Gen 1s because I just couldn't fit.
Yeah.
And it was just awkward, They're cool to look at, but to drive, they were not fun.
Yeah, I drove Art Morrison's one, that crazy one they built, which had the seat like like a little more like taken out of the padding.
They tried to fix it,
Yeah, so it was a little more comfortable. It's tough, though, especially if it's got the huge steering wheel.
Yeah, which these did.
Which they all did, right?
Yeah. So that was...
Were any of them like, wow, this is a lot better than I would expect
honestly,
it to be?
the C4 was a lot better than I thought it would.
The ZR1.
What year? Oh, the C4 ZR1.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Those
car.
actually drive really good.
They do.
Yeah.
So
like
surprising.
really good steering and like super fast.
Yeah.
We had a standard 92, and then we had the ZR1 as well out of that gen. And I was pleasantly surprised with the C4 because I came in expecting very little and was like, you know what, this is pretty damn cool.
Well, they're like made of Legos. But you know, it's that whole like on paper, right? So they have good power, they have good brakes, the steering feels nice, but then you start touching shit and you go,
oh no, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't
you go,
do that.
Did nobody touch anything?
Yeah.
You know, so it's but I do agree they've aged. They're starting to age. They're starting to be like, those later ones don't look so bad.
Well, I think
the 95, 96s look kind of okay.
What's interesting
what the fuck is that?
There was a C4. Oh, there you go.
C3 rally car?
C3 rally. It exists.
Dude.
Yeah.
There may start needing to be some Corvette safarying happening.
Yeah, this is actually a shop on the East Coast. The guy who runs the shop is doing these. He's building these, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's building some variants of these, and it's a thing.
What we're looking at is what appears to be like a 78, 9 maybe, because I think that's a round rear windshield. If I can't really see, but it looks like a round rear windshield, maybe, right?
Yeah. I mean,
late 70s vet.
How many of these do you see?
It's got big fog lights on the front. It's got tires kind of like my 911, big Steelies, snow tires, roof rack, basket. Looks good, actually.
Inexplicable Martini livery. And
you guys have you seen the IROC rally car?
I don't think I have.
Oh, Tim, Google Rally America Camaro like IROC. It is it's a race car, proper rally race car. Runs in the Rally America Championship. It's an IROC Camaro with a full fucking American flag livery.
Nice.
Scroll down.
Nice.
It's the fuck. If you add American flag to it, it is just the best. But I think that Corvette is really excellent. I bet. Did you guys drive that thing?
No, we have not. No. Speaking of rally builds, though, we've got an idea here.
I bet that thing rattles like crazy.
Though. They all do. Yeah. They all do. Okay.
Because that's the thing about the 911 Safari is the 911s don't rattle like that. That's why they're so good off road, because you go off road and they're not like
it's not like
you up throwing your toolbox down the stairs. You know,
which the 81 sounded like that on just the road.
Well,
so,
true.
Yeah, it was all bad.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's fucking. I mean, isn't that just fantastic?
I love that it's all in the air.
Yeah.
All four wheels are off the ground.
Yeah, and that he runs in rear wheel drive. I think 2-wheel drive open class. Fucking awesome. And actually, last time I talked about this car, the current owner hit me up, and they are racing it this year.
Cool.
All right, so here's the new Safari build for you.
Ooh,
new idea.
Sure.
Triumph TR7.
Which one is the 7? The really angular one?
The doorstop.
Yeah.
Triumph TR7
because it's kind of like
flares.
A Stratos.
Exactly.
A little bit.
It's like a little Stratos.
It's like the poor man's Stratos. You do that as the Safari build.
Yeah.
Choose your engine.
There you
hard
go.
Top.
Tim found a TR7
there
rally car.
There you go. Yeah.
That's a V8 rally car. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
These are not my favorite of the Triumphs. I think the TR6 would be a good one because it already has those kind of big wheels and tires.
Okay, fair enough.
Sure.
You know, like the wheels are like disproportionately big for that.
Yeah,
but
this car, right?
This does feel like the poor man's Stratos, though.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Or you could like Fiat X19 it with some flares and sort of be. You could be there a little bit too, because then you got the engine in the right place. There's a dude down south, maybe in Georgia, somewhere, who's doing Honda K20 swaps for X19s.
Oh,
really?
No kidding.
So yeah, it's a 240 horsepower. You take the complete. Front wheel drivetrain, and you put it in the back. So it's like the whole front subframe out of like an Integra or something.
Sure.
In the back,
kind of like how they do the factory 5818s. It's the
same kind of shit. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's
Look
cool.
At that. That's
with the
spectacular.
Flares. That is nice.
Yeah. All right.
See, now that is a cool fucking car.
If you're gonna make a rally car,
100%, you'd die in that if you had crashed. But I mean,
would.
Fuck, it's a cool.
There's a lot of cars in that category.
If we're going there, I have to revisit the Fiero with a North Star V8 in the back. The Transverse V8, Pontiac Fiero.
I bet there's a swap kit for that.
Probably.
I'm guessing.
I drove that one crazy one. The one I drove.
That's right.
It was Digicamo, and it had the Lumina. Chevy Lumina. When Chevy made a 4-cam V6. It was like a 3.6 V6.
Interesting.
4-cam, and He got the steering rack out of a Corvette ZR1, and it had crazy suspension, and it was kind of fast.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
It was really cool. Done pretty much everything they could to it. You know.
Yeah. It was
pretty much just a Fiero body.
Fully done. Yeah.
Did you fit? Did you fit in it?
I mean,
enough to
do a video.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to own one. Yeah. But that's
so
my
AutoZam AZ1, we drove K cars for this season. Actually, we drove the AZ1 and we drove the Cappuccino.
Yeah,
and I actually thought of you because I knew you'd driven one years ago.
Yeah,
and when
AZ1's fucking rule. They're so
hysterical.
Great.
When I first sat down in it though, because I've got a fairly tall torso. Because when people meet us, actually, because they think I'm taller than Paul, because when we're sitting in the car and you cut back and forth, I've got a taller torso. So suddenly I'm this taller guy. Anyway, but so I sat down in the AZ1, and the guy that had the car is a fairly short guy. He's like 5'6", and he just kind of looked at me, and I watched his eyes get really big, and he was like, "Let me see if I can close the door." Because I had to kind of cower and seeing the glass come down. And it just got closed, and I just felt like Sasquatch in that car.
Yeah, so
it was
the
fun
one
to drive,
that
but it was just
drove
way too small.
Yeah, the one that I drove had 2 tall man mods.
Did it really? Okay.
Yeah, because the guy who owned it was a little bigger. So the first thing you do is you put Elise seats in.
Okay, sure.
Take out the seats and you put Elise seats in, and it gives you like 3 more inches of vertical.
Yeah.
And then, Tim, can you pull up a picture of the interior of the AZ1?
Interesting.
The other thing you do is you actually remove the center console between the radio and the shifter. So
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
So look at the interior there. So that entire vertical piece. In the where
my leg is crammed against that between that and the steering wheel.
You can take that piece out, and then you have all the room there for your actual knee.
So you see, now suddenly I want one, because that was the problem. I was Sasquatch in that car. It was fun to drive, but it's just like, no, I got to get out.
I had such a fun time driving it that I asked the guy if he wanted to sell it to me. And it was kind of a weirdo gray market one.
Oh,
sure.
I don't think it. I'm not sure it could have been registered. It had a dealer tag on it when I drove it. I'm not sure it could have been registered. And B, he wanted what I found was a little too much money. And in hindsight, now that they are legal to import and people are doing that, I was right. If I gave him the money he wanted for it, I'd feel like a real asshole right now.
Adam at Sotomoto, where we drove it up in Washington, he's selling these for about 14, somewhere in there, depending on how nice it is. But he says, the windshield, take care of your windshield, because sourcing
big money, right?
It's big money.
Yeah, and also, so the one I drove had a bigger turbo on it. So instead of like 68 horsepower, it made like 84.
Whoa, yeah.
And I don't know what you could do. Was the one you guys drove completely stock?
It was,
yeah.
Did you do anything resembling like a moose test type of maneuver, like a quick back and forth?
No, not really. We drove it as we would for TV, so it wasn't necessarily a test like that.
So the one I drove, if you did a quick back and forth, like a fast lane change, the rear end was just a flippity-floppity disaster. And so apparently you can get Mazda 323 front suspension goes on the back of this.
Oh my gosh!
That can there's some like weird shit you got to do to like settle up the rear end, because it's kind of weird.
Nice.
But I fell in love with it. I mean, I drove it around for a day, and I just went, well, this is the greatest thing ever. At least for like 16 or 17 grand at the time. I think the dude wanted 25 for it.
No.
But they're super fun. And how did you like the cappuccino?
Oh, that was actually, it was better, of course, but just
objectively better, but subjectively worse.
Subjectively worse, of course. But just, a little bit more space, and we thought, wow, this is actually kind of fun. I kind of fit, and
in the same way, a Corvette is better than a Lamborghini. The cappuccino is better than the auto. You know what I mean? Like, it's better because it's more normal. But being less normal is actually
part
what's
of the fun.
better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the cappuccino can actually vanish in traffic, and the AZ1 never does.
Right. A cappuccino is like a 3/4 scale Miata.
It absolutely is. That's how we discussed it for sure.
But did you have to take your shoes off to drive it? I can't drive one with shoes on.
No, I had pretty narrow shoes on, and I don't have enormous feet, so I did okay.
It's not comfortable.
No, it's not.
Fucking
it's difficult.
Small.
Yes, completely.
Did you try to beat?
No, we didn't actually have a beat.
Not done the
a beat is really, really small too.
Yeah.
If you want a similar, like a K car vibe without that miserable tininess, the Toyota Serra is almost a K car.
Okay, all right.
It is really small.
That wasn't in the insurance class for it, though,
it's
right?
not a K car.
Okay.
It's not. It's just a really small Toyota, and it has the butterfly doors.
Sure. Okay.
So you do get like some of that AutoZam funkiness. and you get some of the weird Japaneseness.
Yeah.
But you don't. If you're like 6 feet tall, you actually can fit a lot better in the Toyota.
You have an opportunity.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, look, it's
very cool.
It's this really neat glass hatchback that pops up. And
it's got a Celica look to the back end, a little bit of a Celica feel.
And they're
smaller.
not particularly expensive. They're definitely less than 20 grand.
And
for
that's
a really
a 2+2, am I right?
It is a 2+2.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That
and
could
you
be
could
the
load
sweet
your
spot,
children
actually.
in through the hatch.
Yeah. Just drop them in. Drop them in from upstairs. It's gonna be great.
You call it the top loader.
Exactly.
You know,
that's
because
cool.
it's a Toyota, you have a chance of having air conditioning. Which, look at that glass roof.
Yeah,
you would want.
That's an oven door.
Yeah.
But then, with the
really
doors
cool.
up, you can drive, with the McLarens and the Lambos. You drive around at the car shows. They're all cool with the doors up. And then an AZ1 comes around the corner and like, what?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I remember the actual door struts for an AZ1 were very hard to find.
Yeah,
The owner was complaining about them being really hard to find. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll
I think
crack
it's
you.
all hard to find, but yeah.
If you don't have good struts, it'll crack you in the head.
Probably.
I understand the appeal of K cars if you are small.
Oh, completely, completely, yeah. And that's this Soto Moto in South downtown. It's where the name comes from in Seattle. And he's a small guy, and he's chased these cars forever, and he gets them from Canada, and they're great. Yeah.
Is that me? I'm the worst.
It's all good.
I'm the worst. That's what I get.
It's all good.
No worry. It happens. It happens. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
We do a podcast 2 times a week, and every now and then we're just like, oh man.
You're doing 2 episodes a week now?
Yeah.
How are you guys finding the 2 episodes a week?
Been doing it for a while,
Fridays, yeah.
and it's now ingrained.
Have you found that you got double the return for double the output?
Definitely.
You did?
Definitely. Oh yeah.
We do well, but the thing
I'm not
that
sure we've found that.
The thing that we've really found though is that our episodes we don't get huge spikes on individual episodes because people are spread out between 4 and 6 episodes back. That's what we found.
Yeah.
So
it's
that
a
we're
much
not
slower burn.
Exactly. So that we're not having an episode drop and the episode's doing huge. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But and we'll end up based on the email response we're getting, that kind of thing. We realize, oh, you're 3 weeks back.
Yeah.
Which is all good, but that we just notice that between like I say 4 to 6 episodes are kind of all in play at once. So
the interaction with podcasts, it's different. It's weird. I'll put an episode down and I'll get a drizzle of emails, over the next week or 2. Instead of a barrage of stuff like
yeah.
Sure. I think you go, it's not. Oh, let me listen to that right now. It's he's got an episode like for podcasts. Like I'll wait till my commute, or I'll wait till my
right until your plan.
And I don't know. I bounce between. I don't know about you guys, but I bounce between multiple long form shows. Like in my own, I was like the Dollop and like a bunch of other podcasts.
Sure.
I don't know.
Now, do you
What
go
else
back and
do you guys
curate
listen to?
Oh, I listen to Stuff You Should Know. I like that. Just different stuff that gets me thinking randomly about things
topical
stuff that isn't in my world. I mean, this sounds crazy, but a guy talking about sand, and I know.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. The appeal of that.
It was very interesting because he's talking about a non-renewable resource.
Right.
When you turn sand into concrete, you don't get it back out. It's a one-way trip.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's sand mafias and all this stuff, and I went, what?
There's a book called Grunt that I read.
Okay.
That is a book about the science of war, but not killing, right? Like, so not weapons, but it's like, how do you keep a soldier from getting fucking foot fungus?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Just
like,
all the behind-the-scenes support. How do you get them battle
what
ready?
do you do with 10,000 soldiers that have to shit in the middle of the desert?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
like,
the logistical.
Yeah, like what is
that's
the
a logistics
science
problem.
of doing this? Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Which I found like super interesting and weird. Yeah. What do you listen
and weird.
to? I listened to some of the. I listened to one called The Business and Martini Shot and a few other things that are all Hollywood related because that was my background.
Related.
So I've kind of stepped away from it, but it's interesting to kind of listen to that kind of stuff.
Hollywood industry?
Yeah. So that kind of stuff. And then
if you're not in that industry, is there anything fun to learn from podcasts like that?
I don't know. I mean, some of them like this Martini Shot I listened to is like a little 5-minute thing, and it's kind of comedy based about some of the absurdities that go on. Whereas The Business is much more of. I mean, it's an NPR show, so it's much more of a here's a news of the business, and here's interviews happening from that. And then there's this other podcast called What Really Happened. It's like an audio documentary and following about like Death of Lady Diana was one episode. So it's stuff that is huge pop culture things that you've heard of, but then he kind of breaks down what it could have been this.
Yeah,
and it could have been
deep-divey
that.
stuff.
And it the thing that can get frustrating about it is sometimes there's really no conclusion at all, but it's interesting to just kind of throw up the thought bubbles of, well, maybe this, maybe that, I don't know. You know, so I'd listen to that sometimes too, and then lots of audiobooks that are not podcasts at all, but, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you guys excited for car-wise?
We're excited for driving weather. I know it's, in California, you have it all year round, and we used to when we lived here, but we long for spring, and we're sort of planning drives around that.
We haven't really had it all year round. We've been pretty,
well, that's true.
It's not cool to be in California and complain about rain. I am not complaining about it, but
sure.
For the past couple months, nice cars have spent a lot of time in the garage.
I can see that.
For sure. We're used to that.
And I was just up in Glendale today, which is the base of Angeles Crest, and there were signs up all over the place saying Angeles Crest is closed at Mount Wilson because there was a big rock slide.
Really?
Yeah, which is frustrating.
I think we had more rain in February than in 60 years.
Yeah, we had a ridiculously rainy January and February. We really tested the drainage capabilities of my building, because construction site over here. Which we learned that everything is fine until the power goes out, and then the sumps don't work, and then you are mega fucked.
Yes,
mega fucked.
Yes.
Oh my god,
we need a generator because my site superintendent said once the power went out, and it went out in the whole block, not just my building.
Sure.
The power went out, the sumps went out, the tanks were full within 5 minutes, and there was 10 inches of water in the basement within like 20 minutes. I was like, oh shit, this is a real problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, granted, what we have right now is the rain just falls directly onto the site, and now there are 3 drains that drain into the sumps, right? Normally 2 of them are inside the building, not outdoors being rained on. So a maximum rain flow that can get into the sumps in the first place is normally 1/3 of what was happening. But it was still just like, oh my god, this building will fucking fill up with water. It was really, really bad.
What's your time frame on that?
Being done?
Yeah.
August or September.
Okay.
We're okay.
Okay,
good.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. How are the reservations
we're building
going?
walls now. We are
I knew you were going vertical.
Yeah, we're going vertical.
How are the reservations going on that? They're going well?
We have like 100 people on the waiting list right now.
Wow, awesome. Good for you. That's
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
it's fantastic.
Gonna be cool.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be cool, man. People need parking here. Like it's really,
of course.
Like, and I'm pretty far ahead of like anyone else who's doing.
Yeah, that's great
in this area.
Good.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully we build another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. So I don't know. I don't know where else there isn't space though. Right now it's like West LA, like Manhattan, like in downtown San Francisco, and everywhere else it's like hard to get the rates you really want.
Yeah, that's a balance. It's a balance.
We got 20 minutes left, unfortunately, and then I have to go. I apologize to the audience, but this photo shoot thing. So 5 more minutes, and then I'm cutting off super chat questions, and we got a bunch from fans here.
Awesome, love it.
So let's see what's going on. Eric says, I want 9971 GT3 or GT4 as a weekend toy. They cost roughly the same. So, do you want to drive manual? 9971. Oh, you want the GT3?
I think so too.
Yeah, you want the GT3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's already depreciated. It's it's a 911.
Yep,
you want a 911.
Yeah, and it's a 911 that I love. That's a great gen of the 911.
It's a very particularly pretty generation. Definitely go with that. GT4s are fun. Don't get me wrong, but they're still going down. They got a ways to go. Caymans, as is proven, they don't hold value. They just depreciate. They're nice to drive, but they just depreciate.
Yeah. I love mine. It's not a GT4, it's a GTS, but
they're lovely to drive.
Yeah, they're fantastic to drive, but they don't hold the value.
I haven't seen one go back up yet. Have you?
No, I think if it happens, it's going to take a long time. And even the flat 6, people are saying, well, you've got the good one with the flat 6. Well, the new GT4 will apparently bring that flat 6 back. So
yours will depreciate slower than the 4-cylinder one, probably, but they're not going up.
But they're not going up.
Totally.
Agreed.
Toon Squad, anyone going to Radwood Saturday? Radwood is at Sonoma. It's in San Francisco. You guys going to be down here?
We will be back in Park City by then, so we're just here real quick. Just 3 days. So.
Not going to Radwood at Sonoma. I'm sorry. My parents are coming to town. I have to entertain them.
I understand that.
As one does.
It's Radwood. I'll be at the LA one. Dawson says, thoughts on a BRZ with is it PP? Is that performance pack?
Performance pack. It's got to be, yeah.
What do you get for that? Who knows? What you get with performance pack for BRZ? Anyone?
It's upgraded brakes. It's the if it's the current one, it's the upgraded brakes, the Bilsteins. It's a good upgrade.
Good stuff. Okay.
You actually get good tires on it when it comes out of the factory. That's novel too.
Okay. Thoughts on one of those for an engineering school grad looking to keep it stock, wondering about the torque dip. Should I wait for Gen 2?
We've talked about the torque dip.
Gen 2, I mean, that's still vaporware. It's still vaporware. We don't even know if there's going to be one. The torque dip is really easy actually to tune out. So
can you do just an ECU tune to get rid of it?
You can get rid of about 75 to 80% of it with just an ECU tune. And then I did a header and the tune and actually killed it completely. So it's not, I mean, but just the ECU tune, there's the Open Flash tablet that does it for like $500.
And that aside, with anybody waiting for the next gen that isn't out yet because that's going to be the special one, don't wait. Yeah. We never have recommended that.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to, there's always another thing.
Yeah. There's always something. Yeah. Your life will change, your budget will change, something will change before that thing comes out and is now available in dealerships or whatever it is.
Witness the Supra and the NSX. Don't wait.
Here we go.
Well, I mean, look,
here we go.
If there was going to be a Gen 2, like, we'd have heard something about it, right? And if we hear something about it, that means it's 2 years away.
Agreed.
Homie's going to be out of school by the time.
Bigger thing.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
By that point, you'll want another car.
He's going to want his first job car, not his school car. So buy what exists today. Rico says, should I get a base C7 Corvette versus an Alpha 4C? Test drove both and really liked both. Why is the 4C hated on so much? I thought the 4C was more fun than the C7 and more fun than the 718 Cayman. Anybody want to chime in on that?
The 4C is great at 8/10. It's very unreliable at the edge. I mean, it's really unpredictable at the edge.
Unpredictable, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So I've driven on the track, and that is the problem with it. Is at the edge, it doesn't even do the same thing in the same corner twice.
Well,
honestly, but at 80%, 70, 80% on a nice back road, it's fantastic, and it gives you that exotic feel for a cheap price comparatively.
Yeah,
the C7. Z51 pack at least, but the C7 is very reliable all the time as far as being predictable on the track and at high speed and still nice to cruise in, but it doesn't have that exotic flair.
Well,
I agree with you.
I mean, Rico, it comes down to what you want to do with the car. On track, we don't like the 4C, but it's a great car. It's fun, but the C7 will do more.
Yeah, I would say get the C7. Get the Z51 package is mandatory.
Absolutely. No.
Have you ever driven one without one?
I haven't actually.
No. Good. They won't give you a press car without one, but I drove a rental car that didn't have one, and it was...
Well, just knowing what it adds, I'm just like, why didn't this just come?
It's like M3s without the competition pack.
It's a mess. It's a good value, but it's a mess. But and I don't like the 4C. I think it's an only halfway developed car. But if you like it, if someone tells me they went out and bought a 4C because they fell in love with it, I'll be like, all right, cool. You're one of those freaks. Just didn't jive with me. Spencer's, but I like things to work. Who the fuck am I? You know?
Don't be crazy.
Spencer says, master. Okay. Should I master one technical road course or get on many tracks? I think you should get on many tracks.
I agree.
I think you can.
If you have the opportunity.
I think if you're pretty good at a lot of tracks, you know, with a little bit of extra practice, you can get very good at that one track. Because what you find is corners are similar. Yeah, you know, a couple of these corners at this track. Oh, you take those like you take this at this track.
Yeah, you apply that learning to others.
You tumble how to, because there's only so many kinds of corners, and you can tumble that knowledge. It snowballs. The more tracks you drive, the more corners you learn how to navigate.
Well, here we go. Do you want to get good at cooking one dish, or do you want to learn how to cook?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. We agree there. Matt Shaver says, I have a B7 RS4, death by $1,500 paper cuts. Yes. Would Porsche 996 997s be any better for $25,000? Drove a 987S, and I thought the shifter was bad. Like good engine note. I want a good engine note, manual or rear wheel drive.
Matt, just by asking the question, I think you're ready to get out of the RS4. If you're thinking about it, you're already ready.
Yeah,
you're there.
Sure,
I think you should go after the 997 if you can, but for $25K, I don't think you're finding a 997.
Not one you want.
Not one you want. A 996 certainly, but not the 997. If you can add to any of the budget, of course it's me talking. I'm pushing on your budget.
You always do, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I disagree about the 987 shifter. I think that's one of the good ones, even though there are better shifting cars, but I still like it.
It might have had a worn bushing. It might the one you drove might have been bad because it shouldn't be like.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No,
Terabad is a word.
That's
exactly. That's not nearly that bad.
That's not deserving for that Cayman.
That 6-speed is a pretty good 6-speed, so I'm surprised that was his takeaway.
Yeah.
I agree. If you can get into the iconic 911, why not have that experience? But I would rather you were in the 997.
Just
I really would.
Make sure it has a receipt for an IMS service.
Hopefully, yes.
Volodymyr. I think that's about right. Volodymyr. Yeah. So thanks to Todd, Paul, and Matt. Yes, no problem, Volodymyr. Picking up an Elise this weekend.
He's in Salt Lake.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he follows our show there.
There you go.
He was at our last meetup. He's picking
Utah
up an Elise.
Elise.
Cool.
There you go. Congratulations.
Cool.
Derek says, is there enough room in the back of an Evora 400 for 2 forward-facing car seats?
He's listening. Derek, hello.
Is that an Easter egg?
That is kind of Easter. He actually went on our pilgrimage trip, and he's follows the show, but he actually has been he's asked another question about the Evora this past week for our podcast. So that's the follow-up.
Everyone should buy an Evora 400, by the way.
Yes,
they're delightful.
They're fantastic. 2 forward-facing car seats. Derek, how tall are you and your wife? I genuinely don't know. So how tall are you guys? We know somebody that had an Evora that absolutely did the school run with kids in the back. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
But it's going to depend on how tall you are. I do not think that Paul and I could pull that off because we're just too big. But I honestly don't know how tall you and your wife are. So in that regard, maybe. But I would actually say this. If it was boosters, yes. If it's car seats, you're going to have to get the really thin one.
Have to answer these questions ever.
All right, fine.
We're here to help. We're here to help.
To answer these questions as long as I live. Lakshya says, I recently bought an MR2 Spider. What is the best advice for driving a mid-engine car? I love the lightweight feeling of it. How different is the Elise from the MR2? Best advice for driving a mid-engine car. Be careful with that trail braking.
Yeah, that is the best advice right there.
Brake in a straight line.
Yes. The ends will swap, a little bit later than a 911, but they'll swap.
Yeah.
Go hunting.
Best. I would say braking in a straight line is the advice you're looking for.
Steady power in corners. Don't do any aggressive, sudden moves in a corner. You will regret that.
Yeah, isn't it funny to find the journalist like we did at One Track Day years ago now when the car was spun. Lotus had an Elise there, and it was spun 8 different times by 8 different people.
Yeah.
Like, hi, welcome to mid-engine.
Exactly. For sure.
And how different is the Elise from the MR2, Todd?
I mean, I haven't driven an MR2 back-to-back with it in forever. But the Elise is purpose-built, let's be honest. The Elise is significantly lower. Your seating position is much lower in the car. Your feet are much more straight ahead of you. That's the biggest difference overall. And so people keep saying to me, oh, I'm going to get an MR2 because it's the baby Elise. Not really.
I did drive one that had an Elise motor swap. It had a 2ZZ engine swap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of cool.
I'm sure it
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. Like not terrible.
That's the build discussion. Absolutely. Yeah. I see that for sure.
But yeah, it's a much tighter package. Doesn't the MR2 have that kind of loose late 90s power steering?
Yeah, I mean that's the other
Whereas
thing about
the Elise has
is
no power
exactly,
steering.
and it's got some of the best steering feel out there as a result.
Yeah.
The MR2's got that Toyota power steering for sure. Yeah.
Killabees says, I got a Fiesta ST 4 years ago as a result of y'all's reviews. Looking to replace it. Should I get a 2014 Mustang GT Supercharged, 2016 GT Track Pack, or 2015 Challenger Scat Pack? I'm in Florida.
Okay,
Okay, so let's unpackage that. A 2014 GT Supercharge is the old body style live axle. 2016
Yes,
GT
call.
Track Pack is the newer motor or newer body style.
Yeah.
And the 2015 Scat Pack is going to be the newest version of the Challenger with the 8-speed, like with the good gearbox and the good dash and all that stuff.
Agreed. Yep.
In Florida, I say Scat Pack.
I agree with you.
I say Challengers are for Florida, and Florida are for Challengers.
Yeah, big flat roads with power.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I completely agree with you.
Look, Killer Bees, I don't think you're going to get the use out of a track pack on a Mustang in Florida. I don't think you're going to get what you're looking for. When you say track pack,
if it's your
you're never going to feel a track pack goodness out of that Mustang. So I'm with these guys. Cat pack.
I say Challenger. Yep. I can't believe I just recommended a Challenger to somebody.
It happens.
It does happen, actually. No,
sometimes.
It happens sometimes, yeah. I like Musto just came over with his Demon. He seemed to be enjoying that.
Does he?
He said he took it in the canyons. It was a fucking disaster, though.
I would imagine.
He said it doesn't handle for nothing.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's not made to.
You put the drag front tires on it to make it worse.
No, but he drove it down. He drives it down from San Francisco. It was nice.
Okay.
We got it in my garage. We had 2,300 horsepower in my garage.
I saw that
last weekend. It was fucking fun. Ben says, I'm moving to Austin, Texas, and I've never owned a car, although I know how to drive stick. My commute is 30 minutes, but I'll be driving long distances, 9 hours and up. Yikes. Looking at the new Genesis G70 manual, the Chevy SS, and a Volkswagen Golf R, my budget is 40 Gs.
9
These are all good
hours.
Choices. All good cars.
Yeah.
They are, but if fuel mileage matters to you, that SS is out.
I agree with you. I hate to say it. That's going to be not the economy you're looking for. Although, isn't gas cheap in Texas?
Yes, it is. I mean, I'd love for you to be in the Chevy SS. I'm a huge fan of that car, but how much are you concerned about?
9 hours is a big, is a lot of driving.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to go. I think that Genesis, did you guys have one yet?
We have
not
the
new
yet.
Genesis, the G70?
It's on our shortlist. I hope we're doing that for season 5. Yeah.
Fucking dope.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
seems
had the
awesome.
big motor. I didn't have the I didn't have the small motor with the manual. I had the big motor.
We looked at it at the LA Auto Show.
It was so nice. I had such a nice week with the car. The everything about it was just nice. It was like
glad to hear.
I'm not surprised.
And actually, they out BMW'd in a few things. Like it has better steering.
Hyundai's come
the
to play.
chassis is really good.
Yeah,
you can slide it. Like it's pretty fucking awesome. Actually, the big motor, if you disable traction control, is extremely tail happy.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Extremely tail happy.
Honestly, Hyundai is scooping up all these little areas that car manufacturers are abandoning.
Yeah.
Like Mazda Speed, and Hyundai just slots in with the end.
My fiance's boss just turned in his Volvo S60, like a 2015 lease, and got a Kia Stinger. The fast Kia
awesome.
Stinger.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
She was all, Michael got a car I've never even heard of. She's like, what's a Kia Stinger? I was like, remember that Hyundai you liked? It's the Kia version. Oh,
exactly.
That's cool. That's
cool. I say get the G70.
I'm with you. Longer wheelbase, especially for driving.
A Golf R is a nice car as well too, but if you're going 9-hour highway trips, like a hatchback is.
Let's get some space.
Get some wheelbase on that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
You need that. Church of Petrol says, "Hi, Paul and Todd. Hayden from Denver here.
Hayden, hey there.
Is there the upcoming Atlanta meet in the works? Does it include a Road Atlanta track day?
I have no idea.
We're working on it.
Maybe a Lanier Speedway track day? That's that track across the street.
Ooh.
It's like that little half mile. They got that.
That's not a bad idea.
Across the street. Yeah, it's like Irwindale.
All right.
That's not a bad idea.
You probably rent it for like $500.
That's funny. That's very
We'll be able to
funny.
wave at Road Atlanta.
Exactly. Road Atlanta. We're across the street from Road Atlanta. Go to Road Atlanta, turn around.
Exactly. Go to the other side of the street.
You know what changed my Road Atlanta game? When I found out about Chateau Elan. You guys know about Chateau?
No. What's this?
The winery around the corner from Road Atlanta.
Okay.
There's like a huge winery with like 6 restaurants and a bunch of bars and all these MILFs running around and a golf course.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 4 miles from Road Atlanta. It's like right around the corner. And it really changed the game.
Didn't Pano's family buy that one too?
Probably.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
David says, should I buy a Golf? I think that means a Mark V Golf GTI.
Yeah.
Other options under $5,000 US.
Man, oh man, that's hard.
Oh, in Australia, currently in a Polo, 100 horsepower Polo. Man, this is tough. The Australians ask us car advice, and I don't know anything about their market.
It's very difficult. Plus, $5,000 is difficult in general, and then you're having to have a discussion.
In a foreign country,
Exactly.
I have no idea.
It's really difficult. Yeah.
We do know Polos are fast around the ring. If you gut them and put a full cage and paint them a color they're not.
We saw a purple Volkswagen Polo the first time we went to the ring, fully caged. He was killing everybody. He was just clearly he lived there. There was that.
I mean, I can say I don't think the Mark V GTI is that great. That was sort of a malaise.
I agree,
especially
I don't
at
think
5K
that's,
too. We don't want to go there.
You know what? What about an early Mini? That's a possibility.
02 to 06 Mini R53.
Early Mini would be cheap like that. It would be pretty fun.
Is it Australia? What about a 1,000 horsepower Ute? You can get that for under 5K, right?
What about a non-turbo 944?
Oh. Shit, who even knows?
And then
find those in Australia for $5,000.
I have no idea. And what about what's the market there for 240s?
That's an interesting question.
240s, 260s. That's the other thing on my brain.
I was actually thinking about 350Zs because they just run
and they just
for
exist.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Because
can you get those for 5Gs? Yet?
Well,
I don't know.
David, you're gonna have to find out because I'm thinking at $5,000 you're gonna need something reliable.
Can't you get something that was some like Japanese fucking dumping ground kind of car? Like, isn't there some? Can't you get a Sylvia or something?
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, that kind of world.
Something like that, right?
Totally,
Quite there, but almost because
so.
$5,000 you're gonna be. It's an $8,000 car with things you do
Japanese,
to it.
Yeah. Is that what we got, Tim A?
That's it.
That's it,
Cool.
man.
Cool, love it.
Oh, cool. So, what's your guys' this thing in Atlanta? What's happening with that? When is it?
We keep talking about an East Coast track meetup or any kind of meetup, and people have gotten wind. Well, mainly because we're talking about it, but we are thinking about setting something up, but nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, we've done meetups in Utah because we have a great track near us. We did one last summer.
How many people come to a meetup in Utah?
To our great surprise, we had 65 last year.
That's pretty.
Which was
that's
very,
pretty
very
strong.
cool.
And what do you do at a meetup?
Well, I mean, what we end up doing is we set up a series of things that what do you want to come to? Like, if you want to go to the track, it's not our track day. There's a track day happening with NASA.
It's
go sign up for
track.
it. Yeah. Come and be. And so we probably had 20 people.
Do you guys
from our
sign
group
up for the track day?
Yeah,
we were on track.
I took my Elise. He took his Cayman.
Okay,
so that
it's
was
more
fun.
like I'm going to do a thing, and if you want to show up and do this thing, I'll be there.
And we had some meals that we planned as well. We had a road tour day. We did that was when we had 65 people, which is crazy. We just did a road tour on some of the roads that we shoot, and that was cool.
Yeah.
We've done
canyon roads.
So you led a drive?
In,
Did you lead the drive?
Yeah.
We actually split it into two groups.
Behave themselves?
Believe it or not, yes.
Yeah.
However, I have to say one of the reasons is because we had a freak winter storm. And so we're all driving, myself included, on summer tires, and we were all going slow. So there was that. But so we did a similar thing actually out here around Laguna. We actually shot an episode of TV, and then the next day we did a little meetup thing and drove down PCH. So that was cool.
That's cool.
We'd love to do something similar on the East Coast, and since we've mentioned the East Coast, and we've said before that we'd like to be out in the Atlanta area, it's all kind of snowballed to be. When are you coming? And it's not really...
It's creating its own kind of thing right now.
You can go to PEC maybe?
Possibly.
The Porsche Experience Center?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's the track, the Roebling Road, if you wanted something a little less, a little smaller, more intimate. Savannah is lovely.
Yeah.
Roebling Road in Savannah, I'm a big fan of. Or maybe at Spartanburg. BMW. Spartanburg.
Yeah,
that's actually a good idea. I like that.
You guys have like clout. You could probably talk BMW very easily into taking cars out of the museum and letting you drive them. I did.
That could be cool.
I went to Spartanburg. I ran 50 laps in an M1.
What?
Yeah, and it worked the whole time.
That's a good day.
And then they pulled out a 14,000 mile E28 M5 and that had like I don't know 25-year-old tires on it, like old fucking tires.
I'm just gonna hand this car back to you guys.
They didn't give a fuck. They didn't even watch me. I went in the back. They have a jump drift corner in the back of Spartanburg, and I was jump drifting. They didn't give a shit.
Fantastic.
And they let me run laps in an E36 lightweight that had 900 miles on it.
Ooh, love it.
I concluded.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Guess how much difference there is between an E36 lightweight with 900 miles on it. It's probably worth 150 grand.
I was gonna say.
At an E36 M3 that you find on Craigslist for $3,500. Guess how much difference there is between those two experiences? Fucking zero. And the headliner was even sagging.
Oh, that's amazing.
The dash is cracked. Like, dude,
That's
I swear this
amazing.
car's been in the museum since it was new.
And it still has all those issues.
And it's
That's
fucked.
hysterically funny.
Yeah, and it's like, and EAG would fucking be like, yoink, 150.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Oh man, I had an M1
and I like
poster on my
EAG.
wall.
I joke about Eric, but I fucking like EAG. I think they are serving a customer that very clearly exists.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
their cars are beautiful.
Bring a trailer, serving customers.
Did they sell their power block? Did you see there?
No.
You didn't see this thing?
No, I guess not.
Oh, they were promoting this like instant collection they were selling. They wanted
seriously? I did
they wanted
see that.
like $2 million, I think it was, and it was an instant car collection. It was every significant M car.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like
all of
cars.
It was an M1, an E28 M5.
Sure.
I think one, maybe two E30 M3s, a Z1, E36 lightweight, E46 CSL,
unbelievable,
E92 like the orange Lime Rock edition.
Sure. Yeah.
There was a clown, a Z4M. A 1M, like it was like 15 cars.
Wow, I'd love it if they said that's amazing. Yeah.
They said they'll include shipping. So
let's hope so.
You wire them the money, and a fucking truck just dumps them at your place.
A BMW truck just backs up.
Hope you have space.
Yeah.
Did they sell it? Did it work?
Huh?
Did somebody buy it?
I don't know.
That's
crazy.
The Supra owner bought.
They promoted the shit out of it for 4 or 5 days, and then I didn't hear anything about
it. Yeah.
I don't know. I had a couple of people ask me about it, like, "Yo, who do I call about this?" And I was like, "Call Eric.
Call them.
I don't know nothing.
Exactly.
Tell him I sent you."
How was that M1, by the way? Were you cramped?
It's
I've
small.
sat in one.
It's small. Yeah,
it's small.
It's small. It was like it was like a slow Lamborghini.
Okay, which makes sense.
It was. It was like a Lamborghini that had a very like a real sweetheart of an engine that didn't make much power. I mean, it was like 285 horsepower. It was not.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't a pro car. It was like a road car.
Sure.
Great.
Great. It had really nice manual steering that got very heavy in hairpins and required really a lot of work. But it had a very BMW-like shifter feel and pedal feel, and it felt kind of like a Lambo, but just a Lambo that didn't have much power and that didn't put up a fuss with anything you wanted to do.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Which makes
I
sense.
enjoyed it.
That's
it was
cool.
a lovely car. I don't know, like, fuck, what's one of them? $400,000?
Something like that.
Like, I don't know if it's a $400,000 driving experience per se.
Probably isn't. Yeah.
You know, maybe if you could do one of them pro car conversions, it was like 600 horsepower or something. I don't know, but like for that kind of money, you could probably get into like a Ferrari 330 GTS or like something like that, where it's really like an overwhelming experience. Whereas this was not that kind of overwhelming, but it was very nice. It was cool.
Very cool. Love to drive it.
Respect for the car for sure. Like
I mean, the dual badge, the dual BMW logos. I was infatuated with that as a kid.
It looked amazing, and it did sound really cool.
Did it? Waylon?
Yeah. Really, really high revving. Really, that inline six.
Did that have anything to do with the McLaren F1 as far as thinking? Not part sharing, but any sort of I was inspired by, or
it was much later. McLaren F1 is much later.
I mean, it was obviously much later, but I'm just
BMW did not have a lot of involvement in McLaren
inspired
F1.
Just by looking at that and thinking,
except for the engine.
And just thinking, you know what, I'll pull a BMW motor and I don't know. I'm just wondering if that was any way related.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If
Probably
it is,
not.
Boy, is someone screaming at their fucking iPhone right now. But I really don't. I think the gap was very big. I think we're talking about a decade.
It was a lot of years. But I'm just
as
far as inspiration, no part sharing whatsoever, no engine sharing. But
obviously not. But I mean, there could have been, but I don't think so much.
Musings. All right.
Musings. Well,
all right.
This is our show. There are many like it, but this one is ours.
This is ours.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. I'm sorry to cut it short, especially because I enjoy hanging out with you guys so much, and I always like the time goes by really fast when you're here.
Cool.
But anyway, I will see you soon. everydaydriver.com, Everyday Driver on Motor Trend TV. Check your local listings.
The podcast is Everyday Driver Car Debate, and it's every Tuesday and Friday.
And
we're answering
with us
clearly
on Tuesdays.
We're answering these questions about all of the what car should I get. Clearly, you can see what's happening. Yeah,
there it is. And bother them about meetups.
Yeah, in Atlanta, apparently, yeah.
I guess that's a
thing. Cool, man. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'll be back tomorrow live at, I think it's 4:30 or 5 p.m. with Rob Bender Park from Truck Night in America. Is it 5? I think it might be 5 tomorrow, Timmy.
Do you remember? I think it's quarter till.
What is it?
4:45.
All right, I don't know. Check our social media tomorrow. You'll see the live link. We'll do it then. For the rest of y'all, the Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. Good night, everybody.